Hello, everyone. After watching the video on the needs and challenges of disaster workers, I found myself thinking not only about the survivors of disasters, but also about the people who show up to help. We often see first responders, volunteers, counselors, medical staff, and emergency workers as heroes, and they truly are. However, what stood out to me is that these individuals are also human beings who experience stress, exhaustion, grief, and trauma while helping others. The video helped me better understand the emotional toll disaster work can take and the importance of supporting disaster workers throughout the recovery process. One of the first stages discussed is the heroic phase. This phase occurs immediately after a disaster when everyone is focused on survival, rescue, and helping those in need. During this time, disaster workers often experience a surge of energy and determination. People work long hours, sometimes with very little sleep, because they are focused on saving lives and meeting urgent needs. There is often a strong sense of purpose and teamwork as communities come together to help one another. While the heroic phase highlights the best of humanity, it also creates a significant challenge. Disaster workers may ignore their own needs because they are also focused on helping others. They may skip meals, lose sleep, and push themselves physically and emotionally beyond healthy limits. Many are exposed to traumatic scenes involving injuries, death, loss, and intense emotional suffering. In the moment, adrenaline keeps them moving, but eventually their bodies and minds begin to feel the effects of that stress. Watching the video reminded me that even the strongest helpers need support and care. The honeymoon phase follows the initial crisis response. This stage is often characterized by hope and optimism. Communities begin receiving assistance, resources become available, and people feel encouraged by the support they receive. Disaster workers may feel motivated because they can see progress being made and know their efforts are making a difference. However, the honeymoon phase can also include what the video referred to as a crash point. This part really stood out to me because I never thought about how difficult it must be when your adrenaline wears off. The crash point often affects disaster workers, volunteers, and first responders several weeks or even months after the disaster. During the emergency, they stay focused on helping others and often suppress their own emotions. Once things begin to slow down, these emotions finally catch up with them. The crash point happens because people can only operate in survival mode for so long. Eventually, exhaustion sets in. Workers may begin processing the traumatic experience they witnessed, and the emotional weight of those experiences become more noticeable. They may feel overwhelmed, frustrated, sad, or emotionally drained. At the same time, public attention often shifts elsewhere. Resources may decrease, and recovery may seem much slower than expected. All of these factors can contribute to emotional exhaustion and burnout. The disillusionment phase is often one of the most difficult stages of disaster recovery. During this phase, the reality of long-term recovery becomes clear. Survivors may still be struggling with housing, finances, employment, and emotional recovery. Disaster workers may feel discouraged because the needs continue long after the media attention has disappeared. Feelings of fear, anger, frustration, grief, and hopelessness can become more common during this stage. These emotional reactions can sometimes develop into more serious clinical conditions. Depression may occur when individuals feel overwhelmed by ongoing losses and uncertainty. Anxiety disorders can develop when people continue to worry about safety, stability, or future disasters. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, may emerge when individuals experience intrusive memories, nightmares, hypervigilance, emotional distress, or avoidance related to the disaster. Some individuals may also turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as alcohol, substance use, in an attempt to manage overwhelming emotions. What I found especially important is that these conditions can affect both survivors and disaster workers. Sometimes we focus so much on helping survivors that we forget the helpers are also carrying emotional burdens. Disaster workers can experience compassion fatigue, burnout, and secondary traumatic stress after repeated exposure to other people's trauma. As someone pursuing a career in helping professions, this was an important reminder that self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. When it comes to treatment, trauma-informed approaches appear to be the most effective. Individuals need opportunities to process their experiences in a safe and supportive environment. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help challenge negative thought patterns and develop healthier coping skills. Trauma-focused interventions can help individuals work through traumatic memories and reduce symptoms of PTSD. Crisis counseling and psychological first aid can also provide immediate support and stabilization following a disaster. In addition to professional treatment, social support plays a major role in recovery. Family members, friends, co-workers, faith communities, and support groups can help people feel connected and less alone. I also believe that spirituality can be an important source of strength for many individuals during difficult times. Having hope, purpose, and a supportive community can make a significant difference during the recovery process. One of my biggest takeaways from this video is that disaster recovery is much more than responding to an emergency. Recovery can take months or even years, and every phase brings different emotional challenges. The video helped me better understand and appreciate the sacrifices made by disaster workers and the importance of supporting them throughout the recovery journey. It also reinforced the need for counselors to be aware of burnout, compassion fatigue, and trauma responses in both survivors and responders. In conclusion, disaster workers may face many challenges throughout the heroic, honeymoon, disillusionment phases of disaster recovery. During the heroic phase, they often push themselves beyond their limits while helping others. During the honeymoon phase, a crash point may occur when the adrenaline fades and the emotional impact of the disaster begins to surface. During the disillusionment phase, depression, anxiety, PTSD, burnout, and hopelessness may develop. Effective treatment includes trauma-informed counseling, evidence-based interventions, social support, and healthy self-care practices. Most importantly, the video reminded me that those who help others during disasters also need care, support, and compassion as they work toward healing and recovery. I have included the following resources in my responses: G. Miller, 2012, Fundamentals of Crisis Counseling; Pearson, Needs and Challenges of Disaster, discussion featuring Jennifer Sisney M.A., and Michelle Lovers, M.Div. Thank you for listening.